You just pulled your toilet, and there is brown wax smeared everywhere. The old seal is destroyed, and now you are staring at 3 different boxes at the hardware store, wondering which one actually works. It is a decision most homeowners get wrong. And a bad seal means sewer gas in your bathroom, or worse, water damage rotting your subfloor. After over 25 years of setting toilets on every type of flange and floor you can imagine, I am breaking down all 12 things you need to know about wax rings, rubber seals, and wax-free options so you can pick the right one with confidence. Stick around for number 11, because it is the one factor that changes everything. And the bonus tip at the end is something most pros will never tell you. The first thing you need to understand is what a toilet seal actually does. A lot of people think the seal is there to stop water from leaking out when you flush. And while that is partly true, it is not the whole story. The primary job of a toilet seal is to create an airtight and watertight connection between the bottom of your toilet, called the horn, and the top of the closet flange that sits in or on your floor. That flange connects directly to your drain line, and without a proper seal, sewer gas seeps into your bathroom. We are talking methane, hydrogen sulfide, and other gases you absolutely do not want in your living space. The seal also keeps wastewater from escaping around the base during every flush cycle. A properly installed seal should last years without any attention. When it fails, you usually smell it before you see it. That faint rotten egg odor near the base of the toilet is almost always a compromised seal. So when you are choosing between wax, rubber, or wax-free, you are really choosing how you want that critical barrier to perform over time. The second item on the list is the traditional wax ring and how it works. This is the oldest and most common method for sealing a toilet to a flange, and it has been the industry standard for well over a century. A traditional wax ring is exactly what it sounds like, a ring of soft petroleum-based wax, usually about 3/4 of an inch to 1 inch thick, that sits on top of the closet flange or on the bottom of the toilet horn. When you set the toilet down and press it into place with your body weight, the wax compresses and fills every gap between the horn and the flange. It forms a permanent, custom-molded seal that is both airtight and watertight. Some versions come with a built-in polyethylene funnel, sometimes called an extra-thick wax ring with horn, and that plastic sleeve extends down into the flange opening to help direct waste and prevent blowback. The key thing to understand is that wax is a one-time set material. Once you compress it, it does not bounce back. That is both its greatest strength and its biggest limitation. The third thing worth knowing is why plumbers still use wax rings and what makes them strong. The reason wax has survived as the go-to seal for this long is simple. It works. When installed correctly on a flange that is at the right height, a wax ring creates one of the most reliable seals in all of residential plumbing. It conforms perfectly to irregular surfaces, it does not degrade from contact with wastewater, and it does not require any adhesives, clamps, or hardware. There are no moving parts and nothing mechanical to fail. Wax is also naturally resistant to bacteria and does not support mold growth. Another major strength is cost. A quality wax ring runs about $2 to $5 at any hardware store, making it the most affordable option by a wide margin. For a straightforward toilet installation on a properly set flange with a stable floor, a wax ring is hard to beat. Many plumbers with decades of experience, myself included, still reach for wax first in standard situations because the track record speaks for itself. By the way, if you are finding this helpful, you should know this is just a taste of what I have put into my book, 50 Easy Plumbing Fixes that will save you $10,000. It covers everything from leaky faucets to running toilets, step by step with diagrams. You can grab your copy by scanning the QR code on screen right now, or just use the first link in the description below. All right, let us keep going. The fourth item to cover is where wax rings fall short and the weaknesses you need to know about. The biggest limitation is that wax is a single-use material. Once you set the toilet down and compress the ring, that is it. If you need to reposition the toilet even slightly, or if you realize the bolts are not lined up right, you have to pull the toilet completely off, scrape away all the old wax, and start over with a brand new ring. That is messy and frustrating, especially for a first-time DIYer. Wax is also temperature sensitive. In very cold environments, like an unheated garage bathroom or cabin that sits empty in winter, wax can harden and crack, breaking the seal. On the flip side, extreme heat can cause it to soften too much and lose its shape. Wax rings also have no ability to compensate for a flange that is too low. If your flange sits more than a quarter inch below the finished floor, a standard wax ring may not have enough material to bridge the gap, and stacking two wax rings is a gamble that many plumbers advise against. Finally, wax provides zero feedback during installation. You are pressing the toilet down hoping the seal formed correctly, but you cannot see it or test it until you flush and check for leaks. The fifth item on this list is rubber seal options and how they work. Rubber toilet seals are a more modern alternative that have gained serious traction in the last 10 to 15 years. The most well-known example is the Fluid Master Better Than Wax Seal, though there are several other brands making similar products. These seals are typically made from a thick rubber or elastomer gasket that sits on the flange, with a tapered cone or sleeve that extends down into the drain opening. Instead of compressing permanently like wax, the rubber creates a seal through pressure and the weight of the toilet sitting on top of it. Some designs use a self-adhesive base to stick to the flange, while others rely purely on the compression fit. The rubber is firm enough to maintain its shape but flexible enough to conform to slight irregularities. What makes these fundamentally different from wax is that the material can be repositioned and even reused in some cases, which changes the installation experience dramatically. The sixth thing to understand is the real strengths of rubber seals, especially reusability and forgiveness. This is where rubber seals shine for DIYers. If you set your toilet down and the bolts are not quite lined up, you can lift the toilet back off, adjust, and set it again without destroying the seal. That kind of forgiveness is a huge deal when you are working alone or do not have much experience setting toilets. Most rubber seals also come with built-in stackable spacers or height extensions that let you compensate for a flange that sits below floor level, sometimes as much as 1 inch below the finished floor without any guesswork. Installation is also cleaner. There is no sticky wax to deal with, no scraping the old ring off the flange, and no risk of getting wax embedded in your floor tile grout. Many rubber seals also provide a more noticeable tactile feedback when the toilet seats properly, which gives you more confidence that the connection is solid. For homeowners who may need to pull the toilet in the future for a bathroom remodel, floor replacement, or even just to retrieve something dropped down the drain, a rubber seal saves time and money on the reinstall. The seventh item is where rubber seals can go wrong and what to watch out for. Rubber seals are not perfect, and there are a few specific failure points worth knowing. The most common issue is improper compression. Because rubber does not mold itself into gaps the way wax does, the seal depends heavily on consistent downward pressure from the toilet. If the toilet rocks even slightly, or if the floor is uneven, the rubber can lose contact on one side and allow gas or water to escape. Some brands also require a very specific flange height range to work correctly, and if your flange is too high or sits at an unusual angle, the rubber may not seat properly. Long-term durability is another concern that is still being evaluated. Wax rings have a 100-plus year track record. Rubber seals have maybe 15 years of widespread real-world use, so the jury is still out on how they perform at the 20 or 30-year mark. The adhesive on some models can also degrade over time, especially in high moisture environments, which could compromise the bond between the seal and the flange. Finally, rubber seals cost more, typically between $8 and $15, which is not a huge expense but is notably more than a $2 wax ring. The eighth item on this list is wax-free foam seals and how they work. Wax-free foam seals are the newest category in the toilet seal market, and they take a completely different engineering approach. These seals are usually made from a closed-cell foam material, sometimes with a rubber or polymer outer layer, that compresses when the toilet is set down, but retains enough memory to spring back if the toilet is lifted. The most recognized product in this category is the Sani seal, though other manufacturers have entered the space as well. Foam seals typically feature a flat, donut-shaped design that sits directly on the flange. Some versions use a peel-and-stick adhesive on one or both sides for added security. The idea is that the foam conforms to the flange and the toilet horn simultaneously, filling gaps without the mess of wax or the rigidity of a hard rubber gasket. They are marketed heavily toward DIYers who want a clean, simple, no-mess installation. The ninth thing to appreciate is the real strengths of wax-free foam seals, particularly their flexibility and clean installation. The biggest selling point is the installation experience. There is zero mess. No wax on your hands, no scraping, no sticky residue on the floor. You peel the backing, stick it to the flange, and set your toilet. For someone who dreads the cleanup associated with traditional wax, foam seals are a breath of fresh air. Foam seals also tend to be more forgiving of slight flange misalignment because the foam compresses and fills irregularities in a way that hard rubber sometimes cannot. They work well in situations where the toilet might need to be removed and reset, like rental properties or commercial restrooms that see regular maintenance. Some foam seals are also rated for use on both floor-mounted and wall-mounted waistlines, which gives them versatility that neither wax nor rubber can always match. The lightweight, compact design also makes them easy to store and transport if you are doing multiple installs. The 10th item covers the weaknesses of wax-free foam seals, including compression and compatibility concerns. Foam seals have some real limitations that you need to consider before committing. The most significant issue is long-term compression set. Over time, closed-cell foam can lose its ability to spring back, especially under the constant weight of a heavy toilet. If the foam flattens permanently, the seal weakens, and you are back to square one. Temperature extremes can also affect foam performance, causing it to become brittle in very cold conditions, or too soft in high heat. Compatibility is another concern. Not all foam seals work well with every flange type, particularly older cast iron flanges that may have rough or corroded surfaces. The adhesive can also fail to bond properly on wet or dirty surfaces, which means your prep work has to be thorough. Some professional plumbers have reported that foam seals are more prone to slow leaks that develop gradually over months, as opposed to the immediate pass or fail nature of a wax ring. Price-wise, foam seals typically run between $7 and $12, putting them in the same range as rubber options. The 11th item is the factor that changes everything, and that is flange height. You could pick the best seal in the world, and it will still fail if your flange height is wrong. Here is the rule that matters. Your closet flange should sit on top of the finished floor, flush with the surface, or no more than a quarter inch above it. That is the ideal scenario for a standard wax ring. If your flange is below the floor, which happens constantly when new tile or flooring is installed over the old layer, you need to account for that gap. A flange that sits a quarter inch to a half inch below the floor can sometimes be handled with an extra thick wax ring. But anything beyond that, and you are either using a flange extender or switching to a rubber seal with built-in spacers. If the flange is too high, sitting more than a quarter inch above the floor, the toilet will rock and no seal of any type will hold reliably. Before you even open the box on any seal, measure your flange height relative to the finished floor. Use a straight edge and a tape measure. This single step prevents more toilet seal failures than any product choice ever will. The 12th and final item is the verdict, which seal wins for which situation. Here is the honest breakdown after over 25 years of installing and replacing every type. For a standard installation where the flange is at the correct height, the floor is solid and level, and you do not plan on removing the toilet anytime soon, a traditional wax ring is still the best option. It is cheap, proven, and creates the most reliable long-term seal when conditions are right. For a DIYer who is setting a toilet for the first time, or in a situation where you might need to pull and reset the toilet, a rubber seal like the Fluid Master Better Than Wax is the smarter choice. The forgiveness and reusability are worth the extra cost. For non-standard installs, rental properties, or situations involving wall-mounted waste connections or frequent toilet removal, a wax-free foam seal offers convenience and flexibility that the other two cannot match, though you should plan on checking it more frequently. There is no single best seal for every situation. The best seal is the one that matches your flange height, your floor condition, and your willingness to do the job right. All right, here is the bonus tip that pros actually use but rarely talk about. Before you install any seal, whether it is wax, rubber, or foam, take a flashlight and inspect the inside of your closet flange for cracks, corrosion, or missing sections. A flange that is broken or deteriorated will not hold closet bolts securely, and no seal can compensate for a toilet that shifts. If you find damage, install a flange repair ring, sometimes called a spanner flange, before you even think about the seal. It bolts right over the old flange, gives you fresh bolt slots, and restores the sealing surface. This $5 repair prevents the single most common reason toilet seals fail prematurely, and it takes about 10 minutes to install. Fix the flange first, then choose your seal. That order saves you from doing the whole job twice. Thanks for sticking around. If you want all of these fixes and more in one place, grab my book 50 Easy Plumbing Fixes. The link is in the description, or visit marksilverbridge.shop. Subscribe for more, and I will catch you in the next one.